Do you ever feel like time is speeding up? Like every year passes faster than the last? As if life itself is being lived in fast forward, and you're just trying to catch up. You wake up, already late. You rush through breakfast, rush through work, rush through your own thoughts. You tell yourself you're being productive, efficient, in control. But deep down, it doesn't feel like control. It feels like chasing something you can't see and never quite catching it. Every day becomes a checklist, every hour a countdown, and yet, when the week ends, you can barely remember what actually happened. It's all just blur. Have you noticed how even the quiet moments, like walking outside, eating, or resting, don't feel peaceful anymore? Your mind is still running. It doesn't know how to stop. We live in a culture that worships speed. The faster you respond, the more valuable you are. The busier you look, the more successful you seem. And the slower you go, the more you feel like you're falling behind. But what if that's the real illusion? What if this constant rushing, this endless forward motion, isn't making us more alive, but slowly taking life away from us? Because here's the strange truth. Time itself hasn't changed. The hours are still the same. It's our perception that's collapsing. When every moment is consumed by urgency, life loses its edges, its taste, its presence. And before you realize it, you're no longer living your days. You're just trying to survive them. So let's ask the question we've all been avoiding. Why does life speed up the older we get? And can we ever slow it down? We live in a world that confuses motion with meaning. Everywhere you look, people are moving, running to catch the next moment, the next goal, the next version of themselves. We mistake the appearance of progress for progress itself. You finish one task, and instead of pausing, you rush to the next. You reply, scroll, refresh, update. You fill every empty second with something, anything, just to feel like you're not wasting time. But here's the paradox. In trying not to waste time, we end up wasting life. Because life isn't measured by how much we do. It's measured by how deeply we feel the moments we live. You can spend a whole day being busy and remember none of it. Or you can spend 5 minutes in silence and remember it forever. That's why our days blur together. They pass in a haze without edges or texture. The brain doesn't record time through numbers or hours. It records through novelty and emotion. And when every day feels the same, time collapses. It's not that we have little time, but that we waste much. Look around. We're moving faster than ever, but no one seems to know where we're going. We're surrounded by noise, urgency, and flashing reminders of what we should be doing, but very little stillness. We confuse speed for purpose and activity for aliveness. So maybe the real question isn't how to get more done. Maybe it's, what are we so afraid of facing when we finally stop moving? We live in a world built to keep us chasing. Every scroll, every click, every tiny red dot on the screen, each one is a little spark of anticipation. That spark is dopamine, the brain's way of saying, something exciting is about to happen. But here's the trick. Dopamine doesn't reward us for having. It rewards us for wanting. It's not the satisfaction that hooks us. It's the chase. And when life becomes an endless chase, the present moment starts to dissolve. Your mind is always one step ahead, waiting for the next notification, the next message, the next reward. This constant pull fragments our attention into 1,000 tiny pieces. It's why silence feels uncomfortable now. It's why peace feels unnatural. Our nervous system has forgotten what stillness even is. We say we're tired, but what we really are is overstimulated. Our brains were never designed for this much noise, this much light, this much wanting. The strange thing is, the faster we chase stimulation, the more time collapses. Because novelty burns memory too quickly. When you're constantly flooded with input, your brain stops recording detail. And when detail fades, so does your sense of time. So days blur, weeks vanish, and life becomes a highlight reel, bright but shallow. And the quiet parts of existence, reading, resting, thinking, feeling, start to seem unbearable. But they're not unbearable. They're just real. You are not bored. You are overstimulated. So maybe it's not that time is speeding up. Maybe we are, and time is simply struggling to keep up with us. Time doesn't really accelerate. Our experience of it does. When you're a child, a year feels like forever because it's 1/10 of your whole life. Every smell, sound, and sight is new, and the brain records novelty in slow motion. As you grow older, repetition replaces wonder. Your mind stops taking pictures and starts copying old ones. Each morning looks like the last. Each route, each task, each conversation follows the same pattern. So the brain compresses the footage. It saves space by skipping frames. That's why entire months disappear inside your memory, not because they were short, but because nothing stood out. We call it getting older, but it's really getting familiar. The more predictable life becomes, the faster it seems to pass. To slow time, you don't need a clock. You need awe. You need to feel the air again, notice color again, taste your food instead of just eating it. When you step outside routine, travel, learn, love, create, the world expands, and so does time. The mind measures moments by emotion, not duration. So maybe the key isn't living longer, but living deeper. We've forgotten how to be still. In a world that praises constant movement, stillness feels like failure. Doing nothing makes us anxious, as if rest is dangerous, as if quiet means we're falling behind. But stillness isn't the absence of life. It's the space where life finally becomes visible. When you slow down enough, you start to notice things that speed had blurred. The way light touches the wall, the rhythm of your breath, the simple miracle of being here at all. We are so used to chasing meaning outside of ourselves that we forget it's born in silence. The ancient philosophers knew this. The Stoics, the Buddhists, the mystics, they all returned to the same truth. Stillness is not emptiness, it's awareness. When you stop running, time stops running too. It stretches, breathes, opens its arms. A single hour can feel eternal if you're truly present in it. Maybe that's what peace really is. Not a perfect life, but a slower one. A life where you can finally feel it happening while it's happening. Within you, there is a stillness and a sanctuary to which you can retreat at any time. Hermann Hesse. You can't stop time, but you can stop rushing through it. The curse begins to break the moment you choose to live deliberately, not faster, not more efficiently, but more consciously. You don't have to quit your life or move to a mountain. You just have to start noticing. Notice how the sunlight hits your room in the morning. Notice how your breath feels before you speak. Notice when your mind starts to sprint, and gently, without judgment, invite it back to the present. The truth is, most of what you rush for isn't urgent. The emails, the deadlines, the endless lists, they'll never end. But your time here will, and you decide how it's spent, in panic or in presence. So create sacred pauses in your day, moments where you let yourself exist without producing, fixing, or scrolling. Drink your tea without checking your phone, walk without headphones, breathe before you react. At first, it will feel wrong, like slowing down means losing ground. But slowly you'll realize the world doesn't collapse when you stop. It just becomes quiet enough for you to finally hear it. To escape the curse is not to master time, but to remember that time was never your enemy. It was your teacher, and it's been waiting for you to finally pay attention. Time isn't slipping away. We are. We slip through our own lives, lost in noise, in urgency, in 1,000 unfinished thoughts. We say we want more hours, but what we really want is to feel the ones we already have, to feel alive in the middle of an ordinary day, to look at the sky without needing a reason, to sit in silence without guilt. The rush was never proof that we were living fully. It was proof that we were afraid to stop, afraid of what might surface in the stillness, afraid to face ourselves. When you rush, it becomes a blur. When you pause, it becomes infinite. So maybe slowing down isn't a luxury. Maybe it's the most radical form of self-respect. Because when you slow down, you finally meet yourself again. You see your own story not as a race, but as a rhythm, a quiet, sacred rhythm that's been playing beneath the noise all along. Look around. This, right now, is your life. Don't let it rush past unnoticed. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who's always rushing, because sometimes a single reminder can change the rhythm of a life. And if you want more reflections like this, subscribe and give this video a like. I need your help to grow this channel. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.